I don't know what you're streaming.
Okay, we are starting. This session, we are doing just a hangout of this session. Hi, you can continue.
Are we on camera?
Kim is on camera.
That camera is off.
All right, so I'm probably not on camera on this hangout because it's pointing at Kim, but that's totally fine. Welcome everybody to. Oh, thank you. Hello, web. Welcome everybody. We have like 10 people here, and we had a session yesterday already on Phabricator in general. Now that we've closed the RFC, and this time we want to discuss the day one of Phabricator, which means what we really need to sort out for changing to production Phabricator. So,
even if you look good in camera, I will just put your screen.
Yes,
here.
Please put my screen there. Thank
Okay.
you. So, as we're using the Phabricator instance in WMF Labs for dog fooding and planning to switch to Phabricator, we have the board in there with number 31, and this is basically the successor of the RFC board that we had, but now that the RFC is closed, we don't need that board anymore anyway, and it's also all sorted out. So you can see here that we currently have 2 columns, backlog and under discussion. So under discussion means that there's more input needed and that things are not actionable, and backlog we're going to drag at some point to under discussion. That's the current way things are.
There's no done.
Sorry?
There's no done.
There's no do.
Done would be empty anyway, because if a task is closed in Phabricator, it's removed from the board.
Okay, so there's no like in progress.
There's a second task that says organize the Wikimedia Phabricator Day 1 project.
Let me come back to this later.
All right, I'll shut up.
And that would include which columns do we want in this board.
Yeah, I would actually like to clarify this. I found the not critical for the RFC pretty confusing. So
I see.
Yeah, so we can discuss 20 minutes about that.
So the first 3 items on or under discussion are the ones which are to sort out first. So nominate a team in charge of deploying and maintaining Wikimedia Phabricator, which means who's gonna have which tasks in which area. Both. Yeah, why is everybody pointing at me? But both when it comes to the data migration of the existing infrastructure tools and afterwards maintaining our running instance, for example, settings or changes. Or
How about we nominate Chad?
I think we should nominate a lot of people that are not here, yes.
Yeah, decisions are made by those who turn up.
I wouldn't overload chat with this right now.
No.
Just saying. Not as much.
Boo.
Sorry.
So
you're protecting the team.
The third one, because then I'm gonna go back to the second one. The third one is plan to migrate everything to Phabricator. Pretty clear, I guess.
And is that everything for day 1, or the plan for everything, and the do for everything for day 1?
So the point here is this is in the under discussion column.
Right.
So we want to bless the plan. So what's the scope of this day 1? Because still in some talk page, there's some discussions whether Bugzilla should go first, last, or something. So I think all in all, we have more or less a clear plan, but it's good to have a blessing that, yes, this is what we're doing.
Thanks. And the second one is just what was brought up a minute ago. Organize the Wikimedia Phabricator Day 1 project itself in Phabricator, which means like, shall we have this common columns? How do we organize sprints? Also a little bit what I see, for example, is there's one area migrating our data from existing infrastructure tools into Phabricator. The second one I see is the settings and configuration of our Phabricator instance. And the third one is stuff that's like, for example, design changes or UI changes that might even mean that we, if that's not accepted in upstream, that we have to maintain our diff, of course, ourselves, as we now also do with, for example, with Bugzilla. So these are the 3 top items here under discussion. Comments, input, claims?
Is that comments on that, these are the 3 items to discuss, or comments on these 3 items?
You're reaching meta levels that I cannot follow so early.
No, but I want to comment something. So basically, the engineering committee team still has the responsibility to move forward with this project, and we are a team that we usually don't manage projects in this sense. So we welcome feedback and advice and opinions about how these projects should be organized. I don't know, things like we do 2-week sprints, or no, we do monthly sprints. I don't know, all those things. But we are happy to, because we don't have a tradition, a way of doing it in our team. We are happy to take any input, useful input you have. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't want to go too crazy on that, just because your team is 2 people, plus whoever's going to be involved with Phabricator, right? So I think just having a group backlog of things that must be done for day 1, and if these things aren't done for day 1, we don't go on it.
Yeah.
And then we give that out to the group of people that are working on it.
So yes, this is true. This is also true that there's dozens of tasks, and even if it's 2-ish that will do most of them, actually there's more people that is going to be involved. So yeah, I'm not saying that we now I'll download Microsoft Project and I will, but some structure, more structure. I mean, what we do basically is we have a monthly meeting and we have a wiki page. That's all what we have, and I don't think that only that will work. Not only for getting our work organized, also because there's a lot of communication to the community and to different corners, teams, etc. And that's an easy way to communicate to everybody. Just go there and have a look. And if you have questions, ask.
Yeah, I mean, the resourcing is going to be critical if it actually gets done at all, first of all, and in a timely manner, second of all. And then the people whose team members are actually working on it are going to want to have a say in managing the project.
Yeah, so we count on some platform resources. Ops needs to be involved. Is there anybody else like really needed? But also, like for instance, like in any other projects that we do in general, but ECT specifically, we want to get the community involved. So there's many tasks that you don't need to be the admin in a server or something like that.
You'll need Chris's involvement on the login and security side.
True.
Yeah.
Well, so
That's the 4th item, yeah.
Critical.
You also need every project manager.
Hmm?
Every product manager needs to be involved as well.
Yes,
Customers.
yes,
Not
exactly.
necessarily as doers.
What's that?
As customers, not necessarily as doers.
Well, for
And you
day
can
1,
try
everything
and
needs to be kind of prepped and ready for them to actually use it.
Right.
So we need to make sure that we have addressed their needs for day 1.
Yeah.
That's not product managers, that's tech leads as well.
True. That's true.
Yeah, but this nominated team in charge, it's one is in terms of pure resourcing, but it's also in terms of stakeholders. So probably we're going to hear lots of opinions from many corners, but we need to do a bit of meritocracy here and hear more those that are more involved, as opposed to many other examples that we can.
And shorts, we get some conversations. So for those that don't know, we're hiring a new release engineer in platform release engineering team. Shayar will know him. His name is Mukunda. His first task will be to publicize and deploy Phabricator. Because he knows the software, he knows Puppet, so it's a good way for him to learn our infrastructure.
Are you aware that this fact and the name of this person is now public?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's mentioned in a Gary comment, just so you know, it's not a secret.
It's mentioned
In a Gary comment, so you know.
It is?
Yeah, because Daniel San started working on a concept to publicize Phabricator,
Well,
and someone else commented on it saying, well, we're hiring this person by this name.
Yeah, well, so his first day is Monday.
Okay.
So
Fine.
Yeah.
I'm not worried.
yeah, and it's in YouTube now. So.
I'm Mukunda.
Right. So yeah. So all the things that deal with like secure, like login and stuff, we can punt to him initially. So let's get a backlog that we can give to him. Yeah. So think about it that way too. Like there will be an expert that we have full time, ramping up full time on this. So let's. Yeah.
So I can't wait till we show this video to that. So
I know, right?
Chase from Ops has expressed. Chase used to work at DeviantArt as and DeviantArt used Phabricator, and Chase expressed interest in bringing Phabricator to Wikimedia, and I think he started with some discussions. So I'm sure he will be.
Okay.
I'm not promising more from someone who's not here, but I think that's
Too late.
Chase has also been active in the discussions over email, so I think the three of us, Gilles is also from DeviantArt, so he might be interested, but he might have his hands full with his team.
I think so.
But for us, like Ops, we'll need someone. You will need someone from Ops to do that anyway. Like it's our job.
I think
to do that.
It makes the most sense.
Yeah.
And Daniel's on, I guess, with all of his stuff.
Yeah.
I think the Chase in the combination.
So all you are on record. We will replay this video whenever we have problems like getting time from these people.
Also, I'm happy to kind of help out, be the lead person, giving feedback, and checking that other product people are happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
I think having a proxy is useful.
Yeah.
Yes. Thanks.
And I can maybe sort of do it for tech needs as well. Do you want to do that?
I have made very slow progress with my Phabricator torch, but I've already filed a bunch of tasks in the Labs Phabricator project.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen them yet, but yeah.
Okay, well, I may not have filed them in the exact right project with them, but there's a project called Code Review and Phabricator.
Ah, yes.
And I've already identified a bunch of things that don't work nicely or aren't present at all that could be made.
Okay, so the only mention I want to make now to anything that is not day one.
Yeah.
Like
no, this is like things that upstream needs to fix before day one.
No, day one is task.
Oh, it's just Bugzilla stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, but still, the fact that there will be a team officially working on this day one, hopefully this doesn't mean that then all the code review is just parked.
Yeah.
There's a lot of homework that needs to be done, discussions, tests. So the only thing is that we will be watching and helping and whatever it's needed, but we will be focusing.
You're saying that day one is only tracking tasks, but does that mean migrating Bugzilla?
Yes.
Yeah.
Does that mean breaking the Garrett Bugzilla integration until such time as they're programming?
There's already a card about
There's-
integration you just have to
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So you mentioned before that whether we should do Bugzilla first or last, but now I think we're about to the point where we're talking about doing Bugzilla first.
I don't think
No, it's just, we need just
This is question 3.
official decision, that, hey, this is what we are going to do, and this point is not discussed anymore.
Is everyone happy with this decision?
That we do Bugzilla first in code.
I would be happier if you're doing them all at the same time, but it doesn't seem like it's realistic.
I'm not hugely enthused, but okay with that. I think that
But
there is
even
merit
all?
in migrating to Phabricator just
What's that?
tasks.
What do you mean all at the same time? Which is
Bugzilla, Garrett, Trello, Mingle, probably RT.
So I'm mostly concerned about Bugzilla and Garrett because those are the only two that already have integration.
Yeah, no, that should be a day one blocker.
Apart from things like
really
Mingle
hard
and not. But yeah, if we repair integration stuff so that we can continue working in a half-baked environment.
Yeah, but I would be disappointed if not only do we not migrate Garrett, but then it turns out, oh yeah, people are kept using Trello and Mingo, so that would
Oh yeah.
So we really need to get buy-in to make sure it doesn't happen.
For the code review part, I need to remind that both Antoine and Chad said that it would be crazy, even if Phabricator would be ready, just pressing a button, that they think it would be crazy to do everything at once. Anyway,
No, I can see trying to limit the scope of absolutely.
But it would be nice, and for instance, it would be nice because we are not going to make any decision here because the selection is arbitrary, people who got approved to go to the hackathon. But the way all you can help is going to this second column here, any of those tasks, and weigh in and help reaching to a decision that we can close that task in the sense that, okay, we will do A or we will do B. Okay, I mean, whatever the same opinions we are sharing here. It's really useful if you go to those tasks and help
While we're on the
pushing a
topic,
decision.
maybe rename these columns so they're more clear to people who aren't in this meeting. I would suggest blocker for initial deployment, in progress, and done. And if it's under discussion, it
Blocker
doesn't-
is a state of is not a state of the task; it's a nature of the task.
Yeah.
If fabricated vanilla instance can be in doing, it's still not a blocker.
So,
Okay, so can we rename the board to day one blockers?
Yeah,
I think it
And
should
then-
only show blocks.
they should only show blockers. I agree.
And then if it's not a blocker or it's under discussion whether it should be a blocker, then it shouldn't be.
Okay, so basically what you want to see is only the blockers,
Correct.
and then we still will keep this project because we need to see all the tasks.
Correct.
No.
There's blocker project
but-
and there's long-term fabrication.
Yeah.
No, because the board shows
Long-
all the tasks.
Long term, what do you mean long term fabric? All this for us today, these are all the tasks that need to be solved before day one.
Okay.
We're done.
Then okay.
Well, so what makes something not under discussion if it's still a blocker for day one?
No, like for instance, Phabricator vanilla instance, there's no discussion. We will need.
I don't even know what that means.
I still.
We don't want it, but no, it's as far as I'm concerned.
You need to start with a vanilla instance, and then you start. Someone needs to. Okay, now you have Phabricator. You can start
So
configuring.
you mean create?
I think we're missing a verb in their title, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
What is the difference between
Let me fix that.
create a Phabricator instance and launch the Phabricator?
Well, launch is when you press the button and you have done all the homework, like I don't know, the blog post and whatever other measures, tech ambassadors.
So that's the final success criteria.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
That should be
You open the
attractive
floodgates where
blockers.
users come in, I guess.
Well,
But it is.
presumably people to import all our users from Bugzilla, or we've kind of failed. Okay.
Well, that depends what we do for the off.
So basically, okay, so I think this is actually the list of tasks you are talking about.
Okay.
And if there's a task here that you can see that it's not a blocker, it shouldn't be here.
Okay, so can we rename that to day one blockers? So it's not a board for discussing blockers, it is the blockers.
I mean, Wikimedia Phabricator day one. Well, anyway, we can
I just
discuss it.
feel like in the previous board was not very clear in the
Anyway,
chart.
we need a column for doing.
Yeah.
Whatever else.
Yes.
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 We can create that. No?
Can we just do backlog, doing, done?
Is doing a good word? Because
Doing.
I'm
We can
asking-
rename. We can rename.
Yeah.
Doing. We can rename if we don't like it.
What's
in
this?
progress?
In progress.
So some things just get removed from the column.
Done. Yeah, they get removed when you close the ticket.
You close the ticket. It
So
then
done will be
Yeah,
empty
yeah,
anyway.
There's no done.
It was resolved, doesn't show up.
Resolve
Resolve
means
is
that it's
resolved.
not in the board.
Okay.
No matter
The
what.
board is for open tasks.
What about
Okay, we could move nominate a team in charge of deploying things into doing at least.
Progress.
And maybe organize the board.
Yeah, we are doing
Just
this.
organize the board.
Okay, so what's the difference between backlog and under discussion? Because I feel like
Yes,
all
do
of the items in the
Backlog are things that haven't yet.
Come on, do it.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Wow.
Able to start.
Yay!
Nice. Nominate.
I already did that.
Ooh.
Can we rename backlog to
Why does this not work?
discussion?
There you go.
Oh, now it does, of course.
Okay. So, what's next?
Okay.
Alright, you can't rename that one anymore.
I think it would be useful that to share just even if it's a minute with each of these tasks, just to have an idea in general what are the things. I mean, some of them are detailed, some of them are things more important. So
So let's run through them.
Yes, we can sprint for that.
let's start with all under discussion.
Yeah, plan to migrate everything.
Well, no, I
to
don't think-
Phabricator we already have basically. Or,
Yeah, no,
You just want to see the
just read them aloud, and if there's any question,
pick an authentication provider. We already said that this might be territory of Chris or Mukunda. How to organize projects. That's a bit like the taxonomy that Bugzilla now forces you. This like product component thing. While here it's all kind of flat, so all the taxonomy debates will go away. But it also means, for example, like stuff like keywords or so probably will become projects. As in Phabricator, a task can have 0 to unlimited projects. How to organize iterations and releases. That's probably something that, PMs and Greg want to provide input on. please do it. Name and domain for Wikimedia's Phabricator, that has good bike share potential, maybe just fab.wikimedia.org.
Yeah.
Never discussed
Like
this.
with F O.
Yes.
Nice
We
done.
did.
No. There's no column of that.
PH, please plus minus 1 in there or provide your tokens. Edit homepage preferences. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. So the default page that you see.
Other default apps.
Yeah, like for instance, if you see, okay, let me now share what is my screen, just to give you an example. Can I just start? Yes. Where am I?
Beautiful.
Thank you. So.
Switch.
Oh no, I should.
Do you have to do something?
No.
Yes. Switch to the Google Plus.
No, it's me.
It's hostile.
No. Okay. Oh yeah, sorry. Well.
No, you want to watch the Hangout.
Yeah, no, it's okay, but yeah, I know.
Whatever you want to do, you can also
The whole
do it
internet is
after.
seeing it, but basically, it could be something like as simple as this. You know. So instead of all the mess, now people complain. What is?
Wait a second. A lot of the other things besides good review are useful, like folio.
Yes.
Q&A,
Let's-
to be determined.
Then I invite you to this.
Switch all the applications off and then
switch
them on as
Yes.
we support importing the data.
Not all of them require imports.
Sure, but the ones that do.
We're talking about the default ones that show up.
So
Yeah.
if I
As
get
a
it right,
user, you have the
this is
ability to modify your own personal preferences anyways.
Yes, exactly. So my point is, manifest, task and bugs, feed, projects, people, and then under that you have show more applications. So you allow users to make
Is
it
it
more
the same
complex.
as which are actually like enabled as in you could use them, or which show up by default? There's a big
Just what shows up by default.
Okay, so
Like,
this
we
is
can-
like not really a big deal.
it's not a big deal. Yeah.
It's not a big deal for us. It's a big deal for new users when they arrive. Wait, what's all diviner and all this?
This is true. This is true.
Anyway, no need
So-
to discuss. Your opinion is welcome in the task about this. Okay, now we can move back to.
All right.
I have a comment on an earlier item.
Yeah.
Not sure if you want to do it now or.
Yeah.
On the accounts, on the
Yeah.
application provider, I don't think it's Chris's or Mukunda's territory yet. I think it's falls largely into CP. How do you unify account systems for a community or multiple? So currently we have 3. We have the Wikipedia project, which is off. We have Bugzilla, which people have account there, and we also have labs, and people have account there as well. And this is LDAP.
I believe the Bugzilla accounts could just be migrated, but
It's on
and it would be necessary to import all those tasks from Bugzilla.
I think it's simpler than that with the Bugzilla case because Bugzilla usernames are email addresses.
Well, one thing we need
And-
to check is whether Phabricator has email as a unique ID, because if so, then like depending on how we use or if we use the Wikipedia logins, because those allow multiple users with the same email. And I think email is passed with OAuth, so I'm pretty sure Phabricator probably uses that.
Yeah. So basically, there's a possibility, I believe, that you would import all those bugs without actually creating users, but as soon as users log in with their email address, then Phabricator will say, so you are this one.
I think there's a more general question of the strategy that we want to follow as interacting with the community and staff. With how many accounts do you want people to have? Do you want to centralize some of them into one place? And if you do central auth, then you have issues with lab. Anyway, it's more complicated than that, right? And we have LDAP, which is production as well.
More people have issues with bugs than use labs.
Correct. By many orders of magnitude.
It is very unlikely people will be using Phabricator who do not have an SQL account. Like, it is quite likely they will not have a labs account.
Right.
Therefore, we should prefer the thing they will all have rather than get them to create a labs account to use Go or Phabricator in this case.
So there's no labs account anymore. It's like a Wikita account, and
Yes.
there's also Phabricator also allows multiple communication providers, and
Yes.
like the main instance also allows Google, for example, and say something like that. So I think this is more of a strategy issue. I think it's ACT's decision to make. I'm happy to pass it to you. Because, when a new volunteer comes, like, what are you instructing to do? Like, what do you tell me to do? Log in with your SQL account, create an account there and there, in 2 places or in 1 place. And those 2 places are that.
So I'm glad you are slowly understanding this under discussion column, because if we would throw this task to Ops today, Ops couldn't do a single thing about it, because first there needs a discussion, a consensus.
Yeah, there is a lot of discussion already at that bug.
Yes.
We haven't seen it
Still,
Yeah, and this is why it's the
small
second in the column. So yes.
Yeah.
So, figure out a process for backports.
Backports of Phabricator or backports of our code?
No, our code. I just wonder if this refers, probably to. Use project for it. Probably simply if we.
This is the product manager.
Yes,
So this
Greg's territory. Like if there's something we want to backport to the branch that we're currently running live on our service.
How did you have like multiple live branches at DeviantArt or anything like that?
Sorry, what was the
Like,
question?
did you have like your master and then deployed branch and then you like backport cherry pick to?
No, so we had master, which would go to staging, and then we would sync from staging.
Okay, so you didn't have like cherry picks in the, like what we do.
No.
Okay. So for us, we need both for that, for production, but also for releases. Our tarballs. We need to be able to mark something as a backport for the tarballs. And there's been some discussion. I have some notes from my talking with Evan about ways to do this, so I can add into that task.
Is that critical for day 1?
Yeah.
It's one parameter in Bugzilla. So yeah, before
really hard
migrating the 60-something thousand bugs, we
It's
went.
also really badly done currently in Bugzilla. There is 2 slightly weird fields that no one quite understands what
Yes.
they mean.
And it collides with the target mouse. And the problem with Bugzilla is it doesn't handle branches.
Yeah.
That's the main big issue with Bugzilla.
Because it's 1994, and why on earth would you have a branch?
What's a
Yeah.
branch?
What is a branch?
All right. So suggestions. I can continue. I hope. Suggestions of possible duplicates when filing a ticket. I think that's not going to be critical for day 1. No severity fields. This is Bugzilla currently has priority, severity, target milestone. These are, think, are the main basic ways to express urgency or other terms. And I know there's some ideas that priority and severity are bad names already, like accuracy. And I think you also had the idea that we basically need 3 fields. And I think there's a few ideas around.
Having a 4th.
So
If you want to tell, I don't want you to be now exposed with your 3 fields idea.
no, the 3 fields is that something may be urgent, it may be important, it may be hard. Yeah, and those are orthogonal. Yeah, something may be really urgent, really, really critical, like it's going to break the site if you don't fix it in the next 5 minutes, and it has huge impact, and it's a 1-line change of code, or it may require 4,000 man-years of work. Yeah, and the judgment between those 2 helps inform people as to when they complain about it being low in the backlog.
But Phabricator already has agile points built in, so that's probably a better way to do the third one.
Agile points aren't very good as a model for actual hard things.
Also know that in an agile model, you only assign points to things that are being done in this sprint.
Yeah.
Well, even for things in the backlog, you may want to have a very coarse-grained notion of this is very hard or this is very easy.
So, for example, in Visual Editor, support a user interface for editing variant languages. Yeah, it's like between 10 and 20,000 points, maybe.
So
Who knows?
I'm
right?
curious as to how people use severity and.
So that's the point. Right now we have people edit warring in Bugzilla because they disagree that the severity field is for importance to them, importance to other people, or difficulty. And so they're
It's not
warring
really a
about
number of field. If you had one field, it's still edit one.
So this kind of, with our current instance of Phabricator, that's kind of nullified because we don't have severity. All we have is the priority of the task,
Yes.
which makes sense. And then as far as difficulty goes, you have the, what is it? Sprint number of points. That's right, story points.
Which I just told
Yeah.
why it's.
Which is, yeah.
What's that?
I
Anyway,
just told him 10 seconds ago why that was a quick session.
So why don't we start with what we have, and then we can, like, after Phabricator launch, we can.
Well,
like,
we
have
still have to think about like what data do we want to migrate. If we somehow want to migrate the current severity from Bugzilla, we can of course always drop it as free text in the initial first comment. But if we want to move this into some fields, then the field needs to be created before.
I would say create a field.
Anyway, because we're still on a task, this is a good example of a task that actually it takes a lot of effort to have consensus. But once we have the consensus, that applying this to Phabricator is trivial.
You know what though?
That's the way
I mean,
did anyone actually look at whether it's easy to add custom fields?
yes, it's very easy.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Adding custom fields is easy. Well, one question I want to ask: everybody hopefully agrees that we need a priority field?
I would hope so.
I'm kind of curious. So, okay. All right.
For stuff like severity, just let's import whatever friggin' data we need from Bugzilla, and then if we choose not to use it later, we can just drop that custom field. At least then we've imported the data.
Yeah. And if we decide later that we want a third field, we can add a third field later.
And all the history would have a blank field there, but the history will be there for the media's bug history. Which is
The benefit of this migration, by the way, is that this war over how severity is used, for example, can be mitigated by simply saying, all right, now we've come to Phabricator. Severity will be used for this purpose explicitly.
There's already a very clear guideline that people don't follow.
People just disagree.
Yeah.
All right. More Bugzilla specific stuff. See also field is missing. So I guess this boils down a bit to the I want a defined data field to put something there versus I'm fine if this is free text and I cannot whatever query for it explicitly or so. And that's just two paradigms. If you like Bugzilla with 100 defined fields, or if you like GitHub with like 2 or 3 fields.
Well, Phabricator seems to be very big on linking things together and actually be semantic information. So it seems like you should be able to just have arbitrary linkage between.
Also, it might be that Bugzilla has many fields, apart because they love to have different fields for things. But apart from that, is because you cannot edit comment 0.
Yeah.
So anything you find out later on, either it's just a comment or something that you can edit. But here, my opinion is, okay, you find all the interesting links around, well, just go to edit the description and just add them.
Yeah.
I think that's fine, but I think that if there are relationships between tickets,
Yeah.
should be formatted. Phabricator is very big in formatting those.
Yeah. No, but
that's what C also.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Then this is UI stuff. Disturbing top bar, gray and gray everywhere. I don't see this personally as blocking, but yeah.
No.
Sorry.
But we need to make the decision that it's not blocking.
Yeah.
That if we
exactly.
say it's not blocking, it's
We
done.
can refine later. But
Yeah.
The gray on gray, the style thing.
that one as well. I want to close that one right now.
Which one?
No. I don't want to close anything right now because then you are not there when we have the fights here.
So
Okay.
I was being, so for the record, I was being sarcastic. Not
Yeah.
sarcastic, but over.
Yeah, you were trying.
But I think that those kinds of things shouldn't be blockers unless there's a true accessibility issue.
But there's really accessibility bugs, so I think we should
No,
move that out of this.
the reason to be here is to check, hey, are they blockers or not? If not, we can either close them or just remove the day one project from there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we don't need to close it. There probably are styling improvements we can make.
Yeah, no, but
There's already an accessibility bug, so we should do this one.
Yes.
okay.
Descriptive labels instead of Phabricator application names.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that done?
But
Yeah.
That's serious
I
business
I
mode,
switched
isn't
the
it?
test mode into serious business.
No,
mode.
this is about
No, this is not that
manifest.
one.
Relabeled.
It's all these
Differential.
terms here. It's all the terms that you have here, like diffusion, differential. I mean,
Okay.
here now you see
Okay,
the word
someone reverse-
plus you I think get a no, you don't get anymore.
Well,
Chat reverted
Mouse
you, but I
over.
put it back. Now we are in serious mode.
There you get the mouse over. Yeah. So
But there
that's
was
already what I
back.
commented on the ticket. So
I think that's done.
if this is I think it's more about if you're within the task. There you have these terms here, edit folio mocks or something like that.
Yeah, but that's
But
it says the word
Garrett
mock.
and
just
Bugzilla.
like Garrett.
Big
Tough.
deal.
Yeah, you can argument like that.
Look, I
Join
mean,
the join the ticket and
So
if someone
Yeah.
were to walk up to me and just tell me if I
We
had
need-
no
we
idea
need
what
to-
it was,
it's not.
what,
It's probably not
let's use
blocking
Garrett,
everyone.
I would say I don't know what the hell Garrett is. Like, you're gonna learn the terms. It's just, growing pains.
To go back to the top of the list, I think we need to be secure enough as a group to take executive action on
Yeah,
something.
why do we have
To
this
not
meeting?
say
Yeah, you
have
do
a
it
meeting
to
where
everyone.
we say that we can't decide things at this meeting, because then why are we sitting here at all?
Yeah.
Let's disable series business mode.
Just a bit of background. This was an RFC, and now it's not an RFC anymore.
Yes,
And
which means the decision has been made. Success.
Yes, but still, it is important to have a team. You know, so like for instance, Andre is the Fabmeister. Okay,
Sure.
so because then you can have this kind of escalations. Otherwise, it's we just fall into this risk of yeah, well, I'm closing it because I'm the foundation guy, and you know, and you're just not listening to feedback. And really, I think so far the discussion has been really civilized, and we will keep it civilized.
It's been civilized because no decisions have been made.
Yeah.
No, sorry, we have made decisions.
And we have at least one non-foundation person here, but more
Yeah.
importantly, we should be able to deal with trivial issues without being afraid of, oh, well, maybe we should debate that issue.
Yeah,
for a week more.
no.
Yeah.
I'm only saying that we will close those tasks by discussing in the tasks.
Then why are we having this meeting? Seriously, like,
No.
I've already been discussing the task.
Yeah.
We have this meeting, for example, because I still like to have input on the second point. But let me go back after finishing this list.
No, I think all the. I'm sorry. I think all this is very useful. Now we are seeing that there's really critical mass, and we will do it. But I don't think it's just a detail. No, you want to see the tasks closed right now. Well, I don't feel comfortable with that.
So how would but we don't feel comfortable not closing the tasks?
I don't want to close
No,
tasks. I would like to remove them.
Well,
Yeah.
then I still.
So how these tasks ended up on the day one board?
No, I put them there.
Alright, can we remove them now?
We can do that.
Yes. Remove some of them that we think they're not blockers.
Let me do that later.
Yeah,
not because
just-
I want to postpone it, but because
Yeah.
time is precious, and I don't think you want to watch me removing this.
Yeah.
So yeah. And Wikilink parsing and customize the markup system are the remaining ones here.
There's a related issue there too, which is that a lot of stuff that we're going to be importing from Mozilla has existing markup stuff, especially if it's for bug 12345. That we'll want to make sure that it gets imported.
Yeah, there's some kind of no wiki there. I think it's a little bit weird, but we should be able to get that working.
Yeah,
I can't imagine
At
that being a serious
the,
issue.
at the very least, things that form bug 12345, comment 6.
Need to actually now link to
Yeah.
D 12345C7.
Should be fine.
But
We'll just
this-
do like,
But this is
read-only.
maybe part of the migration script and not
Yeah.
part of the
Sure.
markup.
Sure.
Sure.
I'm just saying it's
Right,
related
that's
to.
true.
So I'll make sure if there's no tickets about the regex parsing, then I'll file one because I already had like 2 in mind, but I'm probably still missing.
Do we need to look at backlog?
Yes, I think so.
A quick one.
Scroll up top.
I'll try to be quick.
Okay.
Yeah, set a vanilla instance, launch the official one. Possibility comments. This,
why?
I think we're pretty close to that upstream. It's,
Why would we want to delete comments?
Social security number.
I just
we
leaked.
sometimes
I just
leak
leaked the password that opens the whole Wikimedia
Yeah,
site.
I went a while ago on Gross.
You can-
some like private data about what part someone was doing.
Or spam.
You can say hide instead of delete maybe, but in the end it's the same.
Okay.
Restricting access level of all tasks, for example, for a security product, or it's also an RT use case for queues. The general configure Phabricator for our needs. That's one of the 3 categories I meant earlier when it comes to settings and preferences.
Okay.
It's like
Um,
so vague,
Well, it's the title. It's the title, right?
Yeah, but if you,
Task itself.
if you look at it, it's just like
It is. It's definitely a blocker to have access restrictions by default per project. Yeah, it is. Not only Bixler but also RT. Interacting with external users that are not registered in the Phabricator instance is also an RT use case. Allocate resources for the migration. That's a bit what we had earlier, where it comes to like who's going to write a migration script and try.
Right.
They
Yeah.
maintain it.
Yeah, and that's the long-term thing. Yeah, exactly.
Like
But
migrating.
once we finish
wait.
migration, you don't need to maintain the migration script anymore. But the rest, yeah.
No, but I think the word maintenance is in the title as well.
Okay. Yeah, I think I still want the pop-up when I put the mouse over a long title, but that's already upstream filed.
Yes.
Perfect.
So yeah. Then all the tools we currently have: plan to migrate Bugzilla, RT. There's probably some more down there somewhere.
There's the only 2.
Java and Mingo.
So,
For migrating.
yeah.
For day one, I under discussion, but I didn't move them for day one.
Okay, but we need a commitment that people are currently using them are going to stop using them even though it's not a migration.
I think it's,
Which means, for example, bingo is one of the other things that needs to get.
No, because if we're no longer using Mingo, we're no longer using Bugzilla, then why
So
do we
it
need
needs to get switched off.
Right.
Yes.
So one thing is
One of the other things in the
Well, if we
list.
mark Bugzilla read only, it'll take care of itself.
one thing is moving. So let me tell the difference. So one thing is the teams move, and then the next sprint is run in Phabricator. Another thing is Fabrice and his 600 cards in Mingle to commit to migrate those.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the reason. That's the reason. But it's debatable. I mean, for instance, this would be an area where we would trust James. Hey, we have been talking, and this needs to be in. Or don't worry, it's out.
Yeah,
You maybe shouldn't trust me.
Today, what we have today, I have these two examples. I have Fabrice. He says, I have these 600 cards in Mingle. Please move them. And then there's Steven that says, never mind.
Yeah, we'll do it manually.
Yeah.
Either way, we need buy-in that they're going to stop using it. So in return for that, some people might ask for migration.
Yeah, well, there's a conversation then we need to have.
Okay.
So moving on.
All right. Applications with public permissions, that refers to the applications inside of Phabricator, like manifest, differential, and so on. There's probably a verb that I cannot see. Yeah. Requiring users to log in.
Right.
So that's also permissions that we need to sort out.
Yeah, they've done most of that since November of last year.
There are a few open ones.
Here you have accessibility, but that was pretty helpful feedback, and also upstream pretty involved and quickly fixing stuff. So this is way better already. Plan to port our IRC bots.
What is our current IRC bot written in?
We have one written in Python, which is a new wiki bug.
That's the okay.
That's the thing that host will in future spam us in IRC about differential changes.
Okay.
And manifest changes. And there is the Gerrit bot, which will continue to spam us about Gerrit and doesn't need to change, except that it needs to now understand bug links.
What's that one?
Python as well.
don't we now have
No
an
one
integrated
cares.
bot for Bugzilla and Bugzilla, like in beta? We have a new bot recently, don't we?
So,
The Garrett one changed, and then.
Yeah, but the Bugzilla one also.
No, the Bugzilla one is totally independent.
Anyway,
we have a new Bugzilla bot.
Yes, that's what I just said.
Fabricator comes with an IRC bot itself, so maybe that just covers what we
Yeah,
did.
we had to change the format, but it should be pretty easy.
Yeah.
And you can have ISU nodes.
We have some complicated requirements, like these bugs need to go to this channel only, and these bugs need to go to these three channels,
that's
and
easily
this channel
configured.
needs to get all bugged out.
Okay.
we had that. We had even we want to work with Skype, so
Perfect. So
pretty straightforward actually.
it sounds like we can configure this.
Yeah.
All right.
Slash replace.
Yeah, then create a Gerrit plugin to notify Phabricator, as we probably won't migrate Gerrit together with Bugzilla and other stuff. Oh, migrating Bugzilla attachments.
Yay. With the appropriate security permissions inherited from the ticket.
Right.
Yeah.
Attachments on security bugs need to not be world readable.
Yeah, that's another note I should add
Sorry.
there. Yeah, no, it's a good point. I think I hadn't had this on mind yet. Then determine whatever the pronunciation is in English.
Determine.
Yeah, I'm always getting told I do it wrong. License of the content submitted to Phabricator.
CC0 done.
Done.
Likely an easy one, yeah.
Except we are migrating content that has a
And we're
license.
hereby respectively declaring that it's CC0 for all the other stuff.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and then real name is required to register. I think that's already optional now in upstream latest code. Set up repositories, projects, permissions, etc. I see.
Bits of that are day one.
Wow.
The projects, yes. Repos, no.
No, repos are day
We
one.
can-
Self-posting yet?
We can edit the task.
Do we have one for allowing self-posting repositories?
It's already in. There's already a task to make that work.
Okay, cool.
There is support upstream, but the existing instance
Yeah,
is
just
set
set
up
up.
poorly enough that it doesn't work and completely breaks. I'm working on a lab instance that's setting up from scratch and taking notes so I can pass them on to people that publicize it. I've already done a brain dump on the existing Gerrit change that publicizes Phabricator with, well, you need this and this and this. but I'm still. It'll hopefully work by the end of this weekend.
Cool. All right. That's good.
Can I clarify something as well? Can you go back?
Yeah, sure.
Dependent and depends on. What's the relationship?
Dependent and dependent are the opposite relationship.
Dependent
I
is
know,
blocks.
depends on.
Blockers.
So
Which
depends on.
one? So plan T39 blocks T64 or T64
No, T64 blocks T39,
Right.
T68 blocks T64.
I admit this is also confusing to me.
Yes. We should probably fix the language.
Yeah, we can
Yes.
we can fix the language from the UI.
I also
So-
get confused and end up adding them in the wrong way.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if
Because
many people
why don't
have
we
this problem, we should
Block
fix it.
by and blocks.
Yeah, yeah. Please
So-
suggest. Please suggest the.
Please file me a
Yeah.
ticket. If you don't do, I have to.
Sure.
That will use now. Anyways.
Yeah.
Speaking of permissions as well, I filed tickets somewhere else in the code review project about how we need some way of deduplicating access control and permission stuff. Gary handles this through project inheritance, where projects have parent projects and they inherit their apples
Yeah.
automatically. I don't know what kind of facilities Phabricator does. It doesn't necessarily have to be structured as inheritance, but there needs to be some way that we can avoid creating the same permissions 300 times.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's important, but it's not the day one.
Mhm.
I mean, depending on how much of that we need for bugs, right?
But really, if we use the same model as Bugzilla, we really don't need it. But if we want to change the model, then
Right.
we might.
Yeah, I mean, so we currently just have people with security right as a flag in their user account.
And then edit bugs and then mortals.
We could make it member of the project security, which is an invite-only group or something like that, and then it's done.
There is some bug for like security projects don't work at all. That should be on that there, but it's not right.
No,
I don't
at least
see
we
it.
don't have it on
Why-
security. Private, maybe?
I thought that was.
Just look
fixed.
for look for like security.
Because
Yeah, we don't
Yeah, it's not
exist here.
No, not here. I mean,
You don't have it here, yeah.
What is?
There's a bug about prior projects basically not working at all. Like there's like a secret task that isn't actually secret and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, yeah. No, it doesn't.
I think it's this one?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. This
Oh,
is
but that's
this
for
one.
all tasks, it's still, yeah.
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Oh, it is on there. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Inherited.
It just doesn't say security, yeah. It
Great.
says access level, that's why I couldn't
Yeah,
find
because
it.
we are addressing the security case and the procurement, artist procurement case,
Right.
which is the same thing.
So what's next?
Yeah, redirect from all Bugzilla. I would say it should be the default. Because I can imagine like that Bugzilla is probably the most referenced URLs we have out there compared to RT Trolley.
Yeah.
No, hang on.
So-
Go ahead.
I was going to say, for this to work sanely, we're going to have programmatically identifiable mapping of Bugzilla ID to manifest ID.
Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
that's the plan.
Fine, but that's
Well, no.
Which you also need to translate links and comments, right?
yeah. Well, not
Yeah.
necessarily. You would look it up. You're doing one
Oh, yeah.
lift and shift.
One
the
small
URL.
SQL table, it should be okay.
No, but
Yeah.
tasks have numbers, bug reports have numbers.
Well, the
so-
problem is RT overlaps with it. So
Yeah.
it's a kind
No,
of
but you can nominate
so-
tasks with characters as well, so you can call a task TRT something.
We're talking about the redirect stuff.
Yeah. So rt.wikimedia.org would redirect to fab.wikimedia.org/rt and then the number as opposed to
You can
We're doing a
also
separate install.
if
No.
guys, if we import
Yeah,
the RT tickets, I mean, let's say we have 70,000 Bugzilla tickets, then we import the, let's say, 10,000 RT tickets, and the redirect is simply by adding a 7 in front of the 4 digits of the RT number. If you have a direct link to display blah 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 number in RT, that's what I guess I would do.
There's any kind of, there's
Sorry.
so many solutions to this. It's
All right,
gonna be
perfect.
fun.
Yeah.
long titles get cut off. In
I have no idea what this is about. Okay. But it's an upstream already. Yeah.
Cool.
Then me nitpicking about the search results compared to Bugzilla not being that good. That Elasticsearch backend that we should try to use this. So it does stemming, like remove with an E at the end or removing with an I, which currently doesn't work. But there was already a comment in there, I think, by Nick.
Yeah.
That,
Nick Chat,
he
Nick
wants
Chat
to
are
try.
on board, and actually we have to assign this to them, so it's clear.
True.
Yeah.
Then the next one, oh yeah, add dependencies both ways, because that's what Bugzilla allows, but That's not currently possible in Phabricator.
That's not a day one blocker either.
Yeah, that's true.
So we don't know.
Is the search day one blocker?
I don't think so.
Is it?
Well,
It can be because I think
Is search day one blocker?
Stemming.
Wait, I don't understand what's wrong with
It'd be
adding
a bit
dependencies
disruptive
both
to change
ways.
the search engine
basically you can
after a
say
couple of months.
I'm on task X.
We always
I want
change
to
the search engine
identify
on
very
Wikipedia.
often.
Yeah, it's a bit
You're on
disruptive,
task
but the
Y,
current
so
search
we
engine
say,
is so
okay,
bad, no one notices it.
I don't think
What
they
is the
You
situation?
go to X.
just one thing. So as opposed to the Wikipedia, we wouldn't be the first
Yeah.
ones doing this. So I don't believe it's a complex task.
Complex.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not. This we aren't the first ones doing ES on.
Yeah.
No.
No, it's a built-in
Oh, it is.
configuration option.
Okay.
It's built in and we have it on the
One side chat.
Font
that
size
thing.
is not too small.
Wait, there's two chats.
No worries, I'm
Oh,
pretty-
One is
Never
upstream,
mind.
careful.
Yeah, yeah.
We also want to,
Zoom?
Greg, we also want to have a Scribunto backend. We'll talk about this later. Yeah.
Okay. Moving on.
Let me do OS scripting in Phabricator. So next is lack of dependency tree. I'm not sure if this refers even already to several levels down, but
I think that just means a chart, but I wasn't totally clear on that.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
show
mean,
dependency tree.
you still have the list here, so but I'm not sure if you want how many
Yeah.
levels deep.
Yeah,
you want
exactly.
to
So it's about the levels.
Tool labs.
Anyway, yeah, question is also like, yeah, should this block day one?
I don't think so. Oh, no.
Font size in Phabricator is too small.
Control
I
plus.
think I disagree. Yeah.
It is on Wikipedia too.
And
What?
Facebook and the BBC.
Mark as duplicate and define a duplicated task at once.
Define? Is that?
I don't know.
You say this is a duplicate of 21374. Now what you have to do is to the task that will remain and merge in the task that will vanish.
You go to the,
So you
go to
mark,
the new.
you mark
Yeah.
A as a duplicate of B, and
Like
then
going to-
and then having marked A as a duplicate of B, you then go to the top of A and merge it into.
Well, not that long.
They
No.
said it's an upstream bug, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it definitely is.
All right.
It definitely is. File upload for people that cannot use a file manager, I guess this is.
Yes.
Or they cannot use drag and drop this way around. Yeah. I was also confused, I have to admit.
I kind of thought there was one.
There
People
is-
who have not installed a file manager can't take advantage of drag and drop, and that is the primary way of uploading files.
Does it really know what that word is?
And there's no browse
No,
button.
there is a browse button.
There is a browse
I thought
button.
there was.
It also requires you to have a file manager in your operating system. People who do not have a file manager in their operating system.
No, wait, no.
No,
Okay.
the other way around, I think.
No, so you can.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
That's,
It
it's,
says I
okay.
can't drag it, which I think
It's poorly worded. Okay.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
If you just index all your files on the system, it doesn't matter where they are. So why do you have a hierarchy? But some systems, I mean, yeah. So anyway, I was also confused by this initially.
It sounds like someone's complaining about an interface that has
So-
drag and drop and no browser.
I added tasks like this. It's not because they are a blocker, but it's like, well, let's have this discussion,
Yeah.
yes or no.
Because some people
Yeah,
might
yeah,
feel
yeah.
strongly about it should be a blocker,
Yeah.
so better to list them here.
Sounds easy.
Anyhow.
Adding dependencies while creating a ticket already, I guess this is? Yeah. Why do we have markup in there? Well, anyway, interesting. So,
That
yeah,
doesn't work.
but, okay, fine. Square brackets and Phabricator URLs might collide with our links, but
Really?
Yeah.
yes, they do.
Yeah.
You see the example here? But there's a comment here that, yeah, by upstream,
Just let us know. Yeah,
but
just tell
we
us.
can
and-
also use other ways to express this, or, well, URL encoded or whatever. I'm not sure how much.
As long as what shows in the URL bar, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Alright.
The comments
that
would be
would be
fine.
Yeah. Anyway, they are saying, well, tell us.
Yeah, so this is. I'm happy that upstream also is active in our
Upstream.
instance.
So the issue is that Phabricator URLs have brackets.
Yes.
Sometimes.
I'm sorry,
Sometimes.
Right, you can't just. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And
Next.
you can
Next.
All right.
but then you can't make
File limits.
Next one.
That's like
Where are we?
configuration.
Here. Oh,
URL.
size limit. I mean, that's easy. Mozilla currently has, I think, 10 megabytes. And then, oh yeah, port the track gadgets on our wiki.
What is track?
It's a small gadget on MediaWiki that you can link to Bugzilla and there's a box, then saying like, hey, and this is in Bugzilla, and click here.
The cool part is that it updates automatically. So there's a regular
Oh.
template, you can say tracked bug number, and then you can manually put the status. But then if you just say tracked bug number, by default, of course, it just says, like links to Bugzilla. But if you have the gadget, then it will query Bugzilla dynamically and then update the box,
Interesting.
which is really useful. On, like,
Oh, yeah, okay. Cool. All right. Adapt on wiki bug templates to.
Maybe this is the meta ticket for it, I wonder now? Let's see.
Yeah.
That one's for all of them, not only.
Yeah, it depends on 285. And the other one is, like, the last one, the template extensions. This has a small box down there, like saying
that one.
perfect.
All right.
Yeah, and that's the list so far.
All right. Pretty straightforward stuff.
And whatever is important to you or where you feel passionate about, please comment and engage on a ticket and discussion.
Sounds good.
Have we decided how projects are going to be organized? Or are we just sticking with the whole projects as keywords thing? I don't think
So.
Projects as projects, and projects as keywords, and projects as release tracking, and projects as sprints.
So what I
We will probably want to use some kind of see, there's no structure of projects. Projects can't be sub-projects of other projects. So yeah, maybe in the future it will be, but for now they can't be. And consequently, we should probably aim for a naming system for projects that implies that makes them easy to find together. So, for example, backports should we should probably have release, something. So there should be a project called MediaWiki, which is MediaWiki core, and then there's MediaWiki-release-1.23, which is MediaWiki release 123, and then you can have release 123 WF7 and have backports to.
Would that be a keyword or a project?
It's all so. What I think it's all going to end up as projects, as ticket can have, or task can have several projects, and I totally agree we need a naming scheme.
Yeah.
Because currently one issue that might be a blocker is if I want to file a new task, I cannot easily get a list of the existing projects. So even if I want to put it already in the right basket to use triage terms, it might be really hard for me. I mean, I can type ahead, sure, and maybe I get the right thing, but
as long as
if I see also that pop-ups or hover cards get renamed, then you might just be lucky or not.
Not the first thing. Just to make sure that the suggestions you get for projects is not just in how. No, yeah, it's type ahead, but it's not based on the beginning of the spring.
That's
Yes.
very helpful, actually.
That is.
So you would put 123, for instance, and it will just give you whatever has one.
Well, in that case, we could be more flexible with our naming system. But there's also something like milestones, right? So Visual Editor uses milestones rather than projects because that would be crazy. And those are all called VE-deploy- and then a date. Yeah, we probably want to rename those to something actually useful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the other thing to think about is that, like, if I'm not a MediaWiki developer, if I'm just somebody who found a bug on Wikipedia, and I come over to this Phabricator instance and I want to file a bug like I do on Bugzilla, if I'm doing it on Bugzilla, it's a little bit easier. We have the whole new bug.
You think it's easier?
Well, I mean, it's here. I just press new task, and what do I enter in the project?
So wait. First, I don't think it's.
That's up for. That's for.
So first of all, I don't think for that user you're talking about it's easy because that bug might be Visual Editor, but he sees Wikipedia. Okay. Even if he thinks it's Wikipedia, find Wikipedia there. You have to go to Wikimedia request. So I don't think current way doing it in Bugzilla is easy. Second is that you are not sure. Leave it empty. You are not sure, and you have 4 options. Just put the 4 of them. Someone else can come after you. In Bugzilla, you have to choose one and just one. So I overall think that it might bring a bit more work for triaging, but for users, especially new users, I think we are doing it will be a lot easier. If only because they can leave it empty.
Which is basically the same as Wikimedia General Unknown. It's easier to find.
It's not easy to find.
No, I said this is easier to find.
This is easier to find, yes.
I mean, part of this also just depends on having good and updated documentation. Like, leave it empty if you don't know what. I mean, we have to update all the documentation anyway.
So, as far as that whole thing goes, we can easily extend this so that this page has kind of tooltips that exactly guide you as you go on and tell you, yo, you don't know what to put here? Put nothing and we'll triage it for you. And you can.
I still claim that this is simpler, and my own
absolutely.
And this is after.
Nice if we were to have like a basic version of this form, where like, you know, for example, leave the project blank. That's a good idea. So like, what if we were to just take out the projects field and take out the agile points field?
Yeah. So
take out things that would confuse users.
Yeah.
Like when you sign up and you're an actual user.
What I have been proposing, and it's in some task here, is that by default users would see title, project, description. That's it. And if you want to see more, then join the edit bugs project by your own, and as soon as you join it, then you will see more stuff.
Is that configurable?
Yes, you can do it this way.
Okay. I actually never looked into it. Does Phabricator have multiple language support or no?
Mozilla doesn't, so.
Yeah, so
so it's a non-starter.
It has, but we don't have it installed, and the translations are really bad for this.
Okay,
So we just put it on Translate Wikipedia.
yeah,
we
so
can upstream our translation.
I just want to mention that one possibility we have here that we didn't have in Bugzilla is we can even allow users to submit a bug in your language.
Yeah.
And then someone could, this could be tagged then bugs in Japanese.
Yeah.
And then
someone would translate it.
Yeah, a tech ambassador from the Japanese community could then edit the task and add it the beginning, the English summary or something.
Yeah,
like
that actually sounds pretty good.
Something that
like
in Bugzilla is simply like really inconvenient.
Yeah, the number of non-English language bugs we get is basically 0.
Yeah, no, but also and then probably also the number of frustrated users.
Sad.
Yeah.
No, it's not a good sign. It's a bad sign that they're frightened away.
Yeah. So that would be a possibility that we would have now that tasks are more flexible.
Is there a way we can switch the toolbar off in the description field?
Which toolbar?
Toolbar?
Yeah.
Why?
Do you want to put visual editor in there?
Yes. No.
You mean this?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Why?
Well,
I don't like you.
Seriously.
can we switch the macro bit off at least?
Yeah, that's
The main one?
Yeah.
I don't
Because
think
I went through the entire documentation, all 3 lines of it, and every single admin panel, and there wasn't a single thing that referred to the macro system except how to add more macros.
Display none.
Wait, what?
Well, yeah.
What's macro?
Yeah. If you
Okay.
click
It's
the
a meme
color-
icon.
I'm glad that after 1 hour of discussion, the real
That's the
blockers
problem
start
with
to show up. Yes.
What is this?
It's the right one.
if you click the color wheel,
I thought that was a meme.
This?
Yeah.
These are memes.
It's a meme. It's
We can have
macro.
lolcats and things like that.
yeah. Yes, that's my point. Yeah, their consistency of language design isn't even consistent within themselves.
This is real serious business, right?
Yeah, this is with serious business. So if you type in Jimmy Banner,
Jimmy Banner?
yes,
Because another word for
That one.
meme is an image macro.
yeah, and then above say Jimmy is watching you.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
Wait,
I've seen this one before. Roffelolo?
Yeah, and then click create task. And,
No, you can always.
Yeah.
and it probably works as better as below.
I'm sure. We can discuss switching it off.
Yes, we can discuss this.
We can discuss it. I am very opposed to disabling this feature.
No fun whatsoever.
So I'm starting
Hang
to.
on. Here's the thing.
Never.
Don't forget, we're a huge community of developers, and developers are almost entirely silly. This is why Phabricator is silly as shit, and they had to add serious business mode. There you go. A long time later.
But I think I commented on this already when it comes to Avast versus create task and so on.
Yeah.
Right.
This might be really funny if you understand the words in English, but even I had to look up Avast. So if you have users that
It's used by developers doesn't mean it's not also used by people who are incredibly offended. Yeah, I get 1,000-word tirades in email
But I
about
love
the use of
offending
the word fixed. When it's not fixed for me, you mean you finally got round to correcting your mistake and you apologise. Or how dare you say won't fix?
Yeah,
What you mean is
that's
I'm
a
sorry,
bad word.
and things like that.
Imagine like this like down.
He's just making up a fake email, but the way he says
No,
it
no,
actually
no.
makes me feel bad.
No.
He's very
sure it's
eloquent.
making up a fake
Yeah.
So if I can
Okay.
make it less confusing to average users to report their issue I'm very happy to go that way.
Anyway, okay. Anything else that is relevant, important, urgent in this session?
What's the next step?
Working on it.
So
Next step is what I have on doing.
No,
The next step is to make you comment on the tickets that you're interested in.
okay, so
Yeah.
who is nominating the team in charge of deploying, and how will we know that it is done?
You subscribe to the ticket, and I'm going to update you, I guess.
No, the in charge bit.
Whoever, okay, so
Okay.
hang on. We have a board here, we have a project. If anyone wants to get involved with this, join the project.
Mhm.
Then you'll be notified of new tasks in that project, and then subsequently you can follow up on.
Okay, so that's the beautiful. So you're playing the role of the media, explaining all this. In reality, Andrew is the owner,
Yes.
and Andrew will make the calls.
Well, I think there are like there
That
are
was
like
easy.
three big main stages that are happening here. There are a group of upstream fixes that need to be fixed before we can start. And the second stage is we need to figure out how we're going to migrate. And then the third stage is to perform the migration and launch the project.
Yeah.
Sure.
It might be worth categorizing.
And some local configuration fixes.
Right.
Well, that's
Like
the setup, isn't it? I mean,
Means to be the only
So-
we all config war about whether the means are on or off. How about
Yes.
I just meant what means we're adding by default.
So, this time next week we got Phabricator?
Here.
Yeah.
No, so the immediate next step will be to meet the new employee joining us next Monday, because he's going to be the next person that's going to put a lot of hours on this project in the short
I
term.
think we have an ISC official.
Yeah, we have an
Yeah.
IC officer this Wednesday at 18 UTC. Yeah.
Can I ask one of you three to have a agenda sometime late next week
Sure.
to just clarify where we are?
And I think he should also hopefully join the IC officer.
right,
already.
yeah, totally. But I think just more like one-on-one.
Just-
The-
Yeah, sure, that definitely.
Your question should be whether we will let you meet a new employee.
Well, I'm going to do that as well.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
All right.
I think you guys have a little more context than I do.
Yeah,
so-
Okay.
Cool.
Any other questions, comments before we wrap up this and close? No? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Remember
to
to
that
put the
URL.
chairs and stuff back